Hi, this is Congressman Thomas Massie. We're about 48 hours from the deadline for the Attorney General to produce all of the Epstein files according to the Epstein Files Transparency Act, which was signed on November 19th. So that makes the production of these materials in a publicly searchable format due on December 19th. And I wanted to talk about some of the things to look for and what we may be anticipating and some of the unique aspects of this project. Let's start out with, how will you know if they've released all the materials? Well, one of the ways we'll know is there are people who have covered this case for years, and I've talked to them in private, and they know what some of the material is that's back there. But the other way that we're going to know is the victims' lawyers have been in contact with me, and collectively, they know there are at least 20 names of men who are accused of sex crimes in the possession of the FBI. These would reside in the FD 302 forms. The FBI fills out these forms to summarize or memorialize what a witness gave them as far as testimony when they interviewed with the FBI. So if we get a large production on December 19th, and it does not contain a single name of any male who's accused of a sex crime or sex trafficking or rape or any of these things, then we know they haven't produced all the documents. It's that simple. So that's a good thing that we will know. One of the really novel things about the way we went about this, as opposed to my other experiences on the Oversight Committee or the Judiciary Committee, is that this is a law. It's not a subpoena. So what we've seen in the past is that Congress issues a subpoena to the executive branch, and the executive branch ties up in court and tries to delay and obfuscate. And they know that if they drag it to the end of Congress, that congressional subpoena expires at the end of Congress. And so the next Congress they would have to issue another subpoena. But what often happens is the majority changes, or the person in the White House is no longer there, or the person in that office is no longer there. And so there can't be any prosecution or criminal or anything like that that carries on past the Congress. This is very different. This is a law. There's no expiration date on this law. So let's say you have an attorney general who is not in compliance with this law. By the way, the law specifies the attorney general's office, not Attorney General Bondi specifically, but anybody who is in that office holding that seat. So if she were to leave, and let's say she's in non-compliance and has broken the law, then whoever gets in that seat is automatically obligated that day to release the files, because it's directing the office of the attorney general to produce files from 3 different locations, by the way. The U.S. attorneys have material, the FBI has material, and the DOJ has material. Now, the DOJ will also have material, thankfully, from the grand jury investigations and trials. So but the interesting thing that I want to point out here is, let's say they try the old tactic of running the clock out until the end of this Congress, which is about a year from now. That won't work, because what can happen is a new attorney general can bring charges against a former attorney general. And so what you might see is that an attorney general under Trump, if they refuse to produce these documents in compliance with the law, which would be ironic because the attorney general is the chief law enforcement officer of the land, but if they refuse to produce these materials, then let's say whoever is the next president, their attorney general could bring charges, because the statute of limitations will not have run out on noncompliance with this law. It's unique. It's different than if there were a subpoena and Congress had referred the person in noncompliance with the subpoena for contempt and who do they refer it to? To the DOJ. And so that's why you can never get to the bottom of these cases when it's just a subpoena. But this is a law, and it will last for forever. The other interesting thing here in this case is we're already seeing progress as a result of this, the Epstein Files Transparency Act becoming Public Law 119-38. There were 3 courts of interest that had grand jury material, one in the Southern District of Florida, a judge there, and then 2 judges in the Southern District of New York. These are federal courts. They had previously said, because of Rule 6E of the criminal proceedings, that they could not give the grand jury material to the DOJ. Interestingly, after the Epstein Files Transparency Act passed, the DOJ did go back to these judges, and I'm going to assume it was sincere. Maybe it was an attempt to get them to say no, and in the hopes they would say no, but I'm going to assume they were sincere in the request from these judges. And what they did is they requested that the judges produce the grand jury material a second time. And in all 3 cases, in all 3 of those courtrooms, the judge said, yes, the Epstein Files Transparency Act, because it's a new law, it overrides the pre-existing general laws. So that's good. We've already seen movement. And another interesting thing we saw in those judges' rulings is that they said that they will redact, in accordance with the Epstein Files Transparency Act, information that would identify the victims. If you remember, in the 5 months of siege warfare we had trying to get this legislation through the House with Mike Johnson opposing us, he would repeatedly say that the release of this material would endanger victims. In fact, in the week before we passed it, he was still repeating that line. We had to keep pointing him back to the law and show him the chapter and verse where it says, no, redact the victims' names and identifying information. So we've seen movement from the grand juries. That is good news. Finally, there's an interesting aspect of this, and that Pam Bondi has said in her official capacity, but not necessarily under oath. By the way, if you say something to a TV camera in an interview and you lie, in Washington, D.C., that's okay. You can't be prosecuted for that. So we had her saying that there was tons of material on her desk and she was in possession of it. And then she eventually changed her story to say that there's no material. The only thing that really exists anymore is child sexual abuse material, pornography, and that she wasn't going to release any of that. Well, we know that's not true. We know that she has more material and she's going to have to produce that material. So that puts her in an interesting position. In order to comply with the law, she's going to have to prove or give proof, evidence that shows she wasn't forthcoming in her previous statements. Although that wouldn't necessarily be illegal. Again, in Washington, D.C., you're allowed to spin, and lie. And we've seen them do it before. But there's a situation where it is illegal to lie. And that is when you come before Congress and give testimony. I'm sure you've all seen them. They raise their right hand and they swear that they are going to give the truth to the best of their ability, so help them God. And so we had Kash Patel do that in front of the Senate when he testified, and he said that there's no evidence in his possession that would implicate anybody else other than Jeffrey Epstein. So when he testified in front of the House Committee on the Judiciary, on which I sit, I asked him that question again. I said, you've testified in front of the Senate that there's no information that exists that would implicate other men. I said, what about the 302 forms? He said that his staff, I said, have you reviewed those personally? And he said that his staff had and that he trusted them. This sets up an interesting situation, because when they produce these materials, what we're going to find out is they are in possession of evidence that other men may have been guilty. And it's going to be credible evidence, because they're going to be, I believe, multiple corroborating witnesses, i.e. the victims who've given statements. And those are in the possession of the FBI. Again, we'll know if they're giving us all those documents if they produce documents that have names of men on them. So let's see what happens Friday. Interestingly, Congress is adjourning a day early so that we won't be in session on Friday when these documents are required to be released, again, in a public searchable format. And so it'll be Saturday, really, before we know. Representative Ro Khanna, who is my co-sponsor and the individual on the Democrat side of the aisle who co-led this effort with me the entire way, he and I will be on Face the Nation Sunday to talk about what we've learned and what they've produced. But again, this is a very unique situation. A lot of times when you're talking about did the executive branch comply with the request from Congress, or are they in compliance with the law, you're trying to parse out the meaning of words like emoluments, or you're trying to interpret laws that were passed in the antebellum era, in the Civil War, right after the Civil War, when we talked about the electors and the role of Congress in certifying electors. But this is a case where the president who appointed the attorney general and for whom the attorney general works has signed a law, and the ink is not even dry yet on his signature on this law. There's nothing that's subject to interpretation. We're not arguing whether this law is valid. We're not arguing the case history of this law is interpreted by the Supreme Court. This is a fresh law that was passed unanimously in the Senate, passed 427-1 in the House, with modern terms that are not ambiguous, that federal judges have already demonstrated that they understand and that they are going to comply with. And this president, he's agreed to comply with this law if he signed this law. He had a part in making this the law, so his attorney general has to comply with it. And there are penalties if she does not. And I don't want to get into that. We may talk about that on Sunday shows. I'm hopeful that there'll be a large document production on Friday. One other last thing, some people have said, oh, what about the ongoing investigations? Because if you remember, Attorney General Bondi had closed all the investigations. There were no federal investigations. But on the eve of the passage of our bill, she announced, and the president also put on social media, that they were opening new investigations. Now, his had a partisan bent to it. But in the wake of that, my colleagues and I, this is a bicameral, bipartisan letter that we sent to the Attorney General, and we've asked for a sit down with her or even her staff to explain to us what is the new material that they found that warranted opening new investigations. Because I know some of you are concerned that they're going to try to use this claim that releasing this material would impede an ongoing investigation. The problem with that claim is we've already said in our law, in the letter of our law, that it would have to be material that would affect that particular investigation specifically. And the redaction can only be temporary, for instance. That's also in the law. So they can't open enough investigations to cover up the terabytes of information that they are in possession of and that we hope to see on Friday. So I'll keep you posted. I'll come back on. We'll talk about what we found and to what degree the Attorney General is in compliance with the law. But I'm hopeful. Thank you and God bless.
Can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Go tell that long-tongued liar, go and tell that midnight rider, Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter, tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Well, my goodness gracious, let me tell you the news. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. I've been down on bended knee, talking to the man from Galilee. He spoke to me in a voice so sweet, I thought I heard the shuffle of angels. He called my name and my heart stood still when he said, John, go do my will. Go tell that long-tongued liar, go and tell that midnight rider, tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter, tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Throw you a rock, hide your hand, working in the dark against your fellow man. But as sure as God made black and white, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Go tell that long-tongued liar, go and tell that midnight rider, tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter.
We will be back in some form.
We have an army of digital soldiers, because this was an insurgency.
Hundreds
folks.
dead, thousands infected across multiple continents.
You guys know what this represents?
All the people that have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist, you're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs. You are.
All right. Hope you patriots out there kicking ass, taking names. Welcome to the party, folks, to PatriotPartyNews.com. I am your host, Chaz Carter, better known as Underground Patriot. Coming to you live from the Wolf Den, folks. Vicky, was that fast enough for you? I know a lot of people are like, man, why are you doing that? Because we're about to have a kick-ass show, and I had to get things together. And believe it or not, I wasn't halfway late, okay? Tonight's a very important night. If you haven't figured it out yet, it is the day before the 19th, as Thomas Massey was talking about. I'm glad he did that video. Good, bad, or indifferent. He's telling us exactly what to look for, because a lot of people are like, man, we already got the information, man. Why do we even need to know about this stuff? Well, do you think the government's telling you the truth? Probably not. Who has trust in our government? Yes or no? Do you have trust in your government? Do you have trust in the United States government? I know Henry County in Alabama doesn't think so. Enterprise, Alabama said, nope, we don't believe it either. That's what I'm trying to tell you, folks. Don't drive downhill with no brakes. Drive uphill and hit the freaking gas and drive it like you stole it. Right now, hell no, Georgia. There you go, see? No. That's all I'm seeing in the chats is no. That's why I think it's important. That's why I put Massey up there. Because when I saw what he was doing, so this is telegraphing this now. where why would he do a video 14 minutes long going through the details, where you need to go to, what you need to be looking for? I hate to say it, probably not going to be a surprise for you, but it seems like the more I see it, Dan Bongino resigning, he ain't telling the truth. They got that son of a bitch under a gag order. He ain't going to be able to say nothing on his shows. Prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. But if I'm right, y'all better start listening even more. So many of you are confused. So many of you are losing hope because you have confusion somewhere around you and somebody is feeding you a bunch of bullshit. True story. Because it's already happening. People are starting to realize. Wait till we start talking about General Flynn tonight. He just went off on the internet. Have you guys seen this with Flynn? He's right in line with us. We're right on time. There is no craziness going on. By the way, you can go to the PatriotPartyNews.com, folks. I talk about it every single day whenever I do the show. I'm not going to go through all that because of time, because of so much. Because here's the biggest thing you need to understand. It matters what you think. It matters how you feel. And it definitely matters how you vote and how they steal everything from us. From our money to our elections. They are banning the shit out of us right now. All over free social media. Share the hell out of us. Flip the algorithm. Because they don't want you to hear what I'm about to deliver. You need to share this out. As many people, message them with whatever link you're watching this from. I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to see everything, by the way, they are editing live streams now, if you didn't know. We just found out about this. Just to let you know, you can go to twopatriot.com where you will get from what we did as a show. We did this on purpose. We knew this day was coming. We knew manipulation was going to be in full freaking effect. I'm sorry for those that have been manipulated and lied to. We all been lied to. But we got to break through the minutia and break through the bullshit to see really what's going on. Good, bad, or indifferent. Well, I guess we just need to get right to it here. There it is. I was trying to find it. Boo, 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 boo. At the stage. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'm trying to. There we go. We thought we had the people in this administration that were going to kick ass and take names. Hey, he stole our line. That's awesome. Instead, we got people who talk a good game and have accomplished nothing. We need Trump to succeed. Otherwise, the nation loses and our country turns rapidly towards socialism. I'm sick of the BS. I want to see accountability. So I respect your frustration. And like millions of Americans, enough is enough. Yeah, we've read the 5G book. This ain't no 5G here, is it? Nope. This ain't us flapping our gums, speculating. Folks, we called this. We told you what was going to happen. Even called all kinds of craziness. We know definitely at least one bad apple out of the administration. I don't even have to say their name. I guarantee you somebody will put it in the chat before I flip to the next page. And it's already happened. Just like that. And you're right. That's the person. That's the person. Or I can just share this and you just understand. Tom Rentz here. Everybody knows Tom Rentz, right? He went after them in regards to COVID-19. He's an attorney, knows his stuff, and is horrified by what's happening. Listen to this. This is coming from Tom Rentz now. Susie Wiles admits that she knows rich and powerful people that were abusing children through Epstein's child trafficking program. She implicated the CIA and the Mossad as being part of it, and then throws Pam Bondi, whom she pushed to hire AG, under the bus. She admits Bondi humiliated and lied to influencers she gave the binder to, then misleads people by saying there is no list. People don't care if there's a document titled Epstein client list. They care that we get a list of pervs that they have video and abusing kids, and that those people are brought to justice. But she demonstrates she's untruthful again by acting like they do not even know it, and by claiming there is no list. Despite all of this, Wiles expects us to believe that there's no evidence of Clinton being involved now. What in God's name is Trump doing? I guess he doesn't care because of the alcoholic personality Wiles claims he has. Folks, I hope you see what's going on. It's not Trump. It's the shit he's being told again by crooked administration, who, by the way, Susie worked with and was a campaign manager for who? BB Netanyahu, right? Did you know that? Yeah. This is the part of that Vanity Fair deal. Yeah, not crazy, but Wiles told me she underestimated the potency of the scandal. Whether he was an American CIA agent or a Mossad asset, whether all these rich, important men went to that nasty island and did unforgivable things to young girls, she said, I mean, I kind of knew it, but it's never anything I paid a bit of attention to. Let that sink in for a second. That is fact, Jack. That came from her. Who is she? You know who she is. The freaking chief of staff for the president of the United States. What the hell is happening? I'll tell you what's happening. Tomorrow, sparks are going to fly. Sparks are going to fly up in here. It's going to be glorious because it's going to be everything we prepared for. Everything we knew was coming. Thank God God gave us discernment. Can I get an amen? Thank God. Thank God that we got some patriots to have some freaking cojones and some mama bears out there that got claws from hell like whooping up on some folks. They're sick of it too. We're all sick of it, man. We're all sick of it. Yeah. Here's something interesting here. Check it out. This is all they all put it in our face. It's always in our face. They do this. This is part of the symbolism. And check this out.
What in the absolute fuck? I'm taking a video of this because it's going to disappear soon. What day is it? What day of the week? It is. Wait, take my phone. Or actually, hit like that button, I think. No. Like, hold it. Okay, do something else. Another one. That one. All right. Yep, hit that and hold that. All right, it is 12/17. That is December 17th. Okay, and it is 5:32 p.m. and I just clicked on Hulu, and it said the Rob Reiner Hollywood tragedy. The Rob Reiner story, Hollywood tragedy. He died 2 days ago. How do you fucking produce this thing? Like, who, how much money, how fast, how is this not a fucking plan? I like, somebody help me. I'm asking for help, for a friend. Bye.
Yeah. More false flags upon us. School locked down after a AI flagged a gun. It was a clarinet. Remember what we were talking about with the big, beautiful bill and the Genius Act? Voila. May I introduce you to AI mistakenly seeing a clarinet as a bazooka or a weapon or gun. Okay. Now, could you imagine a SWAT team going up in there and they mistakenly kill a high school student or elementary student because they went by a computer system, AI system? Folks, it's upon us. If you're not afraid and if you're not worried or you don't think it's a big deal, your wood might be wet. We've been preaching this. Jennifer is the one that told me, you got to see this. And I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe that he signed off on this shit. But he did. He did. But it's not necessarily all his fault, because you got to understand everybody around him supposedly he trusts. And what happens every time? People get compromised. People get put in place for reasons. And this is what we're seeing right now. Oh, wait a minute. It's about to get gooder. We talked about Telegram. What happened with Telegram? If you didn't watch today's show, you might want to go back there and see that Israel and the Mossad can go in to Telegram accounts. I mean, because that's what they've already done to one. It's been proven. They can go into all kinds of stuff, but not like what they just described to what they did earlier. What do you think they're about to do with TikTok? Just so everyone thinks I'm picking on Telegram, because I'm not. I'm trying to educate you fools out there to make you understand. Listen, you're about to see 2020 all over again at the end in early 2021, when all kinds of awesome kick-ass patriots got banished from Facebook. We were one of them. Actually, they not only took me, took Jennifer out too. About our whole damn family out. I mean, we went to almost 600,000 subscribers in 30 days. That's how crazy it was, because of things we were exposing. Warren would give me information at that time, and what I would do is I'd get on and I would talk about it in the beginning. Well, I have been pounding Patriot Shoot with intel and news to educate everybody and do my very best to prepare everyone for what's about to happen with this social media blanket blackout of some degree of either information or Cloudflare or something internally, or be hacked in by AI supposedly from some foreign place like Iran, because that's what they're pinning it on. This expected, listen to this. Let me tell you how crazy this is. January, I thought it was 21st. of 2021 is when we were terminated off of Facebook. Everything will be finalized on January 22nd of 2026 with this. The Mossad in Israel. Oh my God. If you heard that, somebody's trying to hack into our system, and I just had to Naughty just hit my toggle switch and tell them to F off. They don't want you to know about this, folks. I hope you can see us. I hope that you can see us on some of these free social media platforms. Probably not, and that's fine. That's why you need to go to Tube Patriot. They're not going to want you to see this. They're probably going to make where the replay doesn't show. That's fine. That's fine. We already took care of that bullshit once and for all. Once and for all. You can go to tubepatriot.com so you can see our full show, censorship free, no banning, nothing. We got this going on. Looks like the world's on fire. We've heard that so many times, right? Furious European farmers invade Brussels to protest the EU trade deal with Mercosur. We see things heating up with the EU with Russia. We all said, it would start in London, right? Well, it looks like it's about to seriously start here in the United States of America. The running debate now is people are saying, is the United States Israel? Sure the hell looks like it doesn't with that kind of control. Beavis, I think, bingo. Yeah. Oh, don't worry. It doesn't stop there. They're going to distract you. They're going to scare you because they don't want you to know the truth. Just like here, the super flu, tap water, and the NHS here. We're talking about the super flu outbreak in the UK may be linked to weakened immune systems of children due to excessive vaccinations, including the COVID vaccination. Nurse Recover, if you're in the chat, please let us know what you're experiencing there. She's on boots on the ground. She's also part of our UK state groups as well. So if you want to know what's going on, the truth, then come over to Patriot Shoot. Damn. Get a little wild. Now, everybody is saying Tim Walz is panicking like a mother right now because the FBI supposedly just raided the Somali Health Services building after billions in Medicaid fraud was exposed. Remember this? It's only getting worse in Minnesota. Tim Walz and the Minnesota Democrats are to blame. Resign. Check this video out here. I am going to make a suggestion, though. Why didn't they black out this license plate that's here on the screen? I don't even want to look at that. I want to see what this is about. I wonder. Let's make sure of something here. I want to see. Oh, yeah. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me this, Batman. FBI, open up the door of a vehicle. Here is the license plate, unredacted. I just sent liquid gold out, internet gold out to the freaking world. Go look up that license plate and see who it's registered to. course, it's Minnesota plates. It ain't no special plates, is it? It's not a law enforcement plate, is it not? In Minnesota. Exactly, Robert. Who in the hell, number one, FBI especially, would, oh, I'm sorry, hey, I'm late to the sting. Let me take my personal vehicle. Before you even say it. How crazy is that? They normally block out these things. And here's another question for you. Most governments have contracts on vehicles. When's the last time a government set up a contract with Mitsubishi? Hello. There's the Mitsubishi symbol. Charlie Ward was on our morning show today with Coffee with Chaz. And again, that's in Patriot Shoot. You can go to join.patriotshoot.com to get access to the show. He called in. Charlie was explaining, like I said, a lot of this has already happened. Okay. It's parts of this. This is obviously staged. What happened in Australia? Staged. What happened at Brown University? Well, the only video I saw was FBI agents doing snow angels in the snow, or going over the tracks of supposedly the perpetrator. Right? Well, a lot of things are coming up too. 50 Cent was warned by Jay-Z, saying he was already gathered up all the material for the documentary about him. Now, I want you to understand something. There's a picture going around of some folks in a hot tub that's very chilling on what we have always known all along. We understand the CIA created rap music. Do you understand that? They did. It's all by design. This is no different. Check this out.
I'm fully prepared with everything I need for the Jay-Z documentary. The moment he sent that legal letter, I knew I had to let the world see who he really is. He and Diddy are cut from the same cloth. He just hides his arrogance and control behind a cleaner image. Our feud has lasted 20 years, and I know better than anyone what he's done in the shadows. I even suspect that so-called funeral bouquet wasn't Diddy's idea at all, but Jay-Z acting on his behalf. Back when Nicki Minaj posted that video of him wearing a pink wig, all I did was repost it, and he got so nervous he had his lawyers threaten me. In 2015, Nicki worked her ass off helping him build his platform, and he allegedly pocketed her $7.9 million in royalties. And then there's his fingerprints all over key incidents through the years, whether it's the elevator footage or the guest list at Diddy's parties. He was involved, clearly, but somehow he always walks away untouched. That's what he's best at, pulling strings behind the scenes while pretending to be spotless in public. And now that a corner of the darkness has been ripped open, I'm not stopping. Everything my team and I are doing isn't about attacking anyone. It's about making sure the truth can't be buried by him ever again.
Understand. He's on the Epstein list. Him and Beyonce is what it's been spread all over the internet. Go shorty, it's your birthday. Go shorty, it's your birthday, right? I didn't know I knew that, did you? Yeah, I did. I do have some good news to report. The Department of Health and Human Services are actually pretty smart. Check this out.
Men are men. Men can never become women. Women are women. Women can never become men.
All right, give it up for them. Hell yeah. We're starting to get back on the right track. I think we are. And that's why they're going to have to shut down everything. Because at the end of the day, it's not about you and I. It's not about who's right, who's wrong. Here's what it's about. These precious angels right here that are going to be our future here on planet Earth, especially in our country.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. The kingdom comes, the will be done, this as in heaven. Give us daily big bread, my occasion, the joy kingdom, the power, the glory, forever. Amen.
Woo, Lord. I watched it earlier. I busted out crying. I'm not wanting to cry now. This is what it's about. Some people have used what is going on in the world as a way for them to become rich and go and buy fancy cars or whatever. Man, all I want to do is make sure we're not getting censored. And we can keep on keeping on. And not try to fool people, not try to manipulate people, but really, honestly, give people the freaking truth. Can I get an amen on that? I mean that from the heart, man. Seriously. Oh, my goodness. And then you've got this stuff happening as well. This is Hustle Bitch is reporting school principal blows the whistle. We are drugging our kids for being kids. Former principal just said the quiet part out loud on camera. Schools are drugging 6.4 million children for the crime of acting like children. 6.4 million kids are on ADHD medication. 83% are boys. This is true. I'm experiencing it personally. I'm going to let this play. So let me just read it all so we can move through this because I ain't done. We got some stuff we ain't brought out yet.
Schools are drugging 6.4 million children for the crime of acting like children. As a former principal, I watch this pipeline destroy boys daily. Here's the shocking statistics. 6.4 million children on ADHD medication right now. 83% are boys, and their natural energy is criminalized. Diagnosis rates vary by 300% between states. That's crazy. And 11% of all children are now labeled as ADHD. Here's how the pipeline works. Step 1, boys show natural energy and curiosity. Step 2, teachers can't control 30 kids and they blame the child. Step 3, schools recommend an ADHD evaluation. Step 4, parents are pressured. He can't learn without medication. And then step 5, the child is drugged into compliance. Here's the truth. We are medicating normal childhood behavior because schools can't handle natural human development. A 7-year-old boy who can't sit still for 6 hours isn't sick. The system forcing him to sit still, that's sick.
Yep. We got some breaking news coming in, if you didn't know. It's coming in from Breaking 911. The suspected Brown University shooter found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It ain't like we didn't see that coming. Who had that on their conspiracy theorist bingo card? I think we did. But that's usually usually how it works. Well. Trump officials rush to redact thousands of Epstein docs before deadline. Disclosed TV is reporting this. Again, this is not something that is going to shock us, but it is going to be something that pisses and galvanizes the whole entire movement. And MAGA, it's going to split MAGA apart if they do this. This is by design. We know they're planning on doing this. This is no surprise at all in all of this. And then you've got all kinds of things that are happening around us. I think another thing we need to do is keep Greg Biffle and his family, obviously his family, in our prayers. Garrett Mitchell is one of the people they were going and flying to see. He says, unfortunately, I can confirm Greg Biffle, his wife, Christina, daughter, Emma, and son, Ryder, were on that plane because they were on their way to spend the afternoon with us. We are devastated, and I'm so sorry to have to share this. Man. Things don't add up. This is part of the fear stuff, distractions, tactics. And I pray to God I'm wrong on this one. I pray to God that they didn't have anything to do this to create attention, a distraction, and people just like this family, NASCAR giant, paid the price. The only way I can see out of this is saying, well, something could have happened. Maybe. I don't think he was on the list. I believe this was done on purpose, folks. I truly believe in my heart. But we need to be praying for this family because this is real. This is not, if you like, this is part of the plan. There's going to be casualties, I guess. You need to understand that. It's not rainbows and unicorns. Yeah. And this is a video that's been played a long time ago here. Now, I want everybody to understand something here. Does everyone realize that if you talk about anything that's related to Israel, you're anti-Semitic? So now if you speak out on anything bad or against Israel, they're going to shut down your bank account. They're going to make sure you get a visit from government officials. Our government, not theirs, because they're not part of our government, but they own the government, ladies and gentlemen. They own all the congressmen. Did you see what, what's his name from Texas? Troy, I think was his name. Troy. Anyway, he said everybody needs to go. The Senate, the House, everybody, and let's start over. Who agrees with that? Yes or no? Do you think we need to totally just have them? They all need to leave. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Or do you want them to stay? That's a loaded question. I get it. Then what do we do to be able to do that legally from we the people? Meaning not having to wait on elections. What if they never come back from tomorrow from their break? Think about that for a second. That is a possibility, folks. Wouldn't that be something, huh? I was going to, here, I'll play it. Just listen to this.
But an actual fight, a fight that the Jewish community did not choose, but one that we are now fully engaged in, confronting the global explosion of Jew hatred unleashed since the attacks of 10/7. Stop Anti-Semitism was built for this. For years, we exposed hate, pressured institutions, and delivered countries, corporations, but the fight is bigger than the exposure, and it's about securing a future where Jewish students can walk across a quad without being, it's bigotry, and it will cause you to lose your job. A future where fact, not activism, a quad without being screamed at. A future where employers understand that anti-Semitism is not activism. It's bigotry, and it will cause you to lose your job. Not activism. It's bigotry, and it will cause you to lose your job.
You get the idea, right? See what they says down the road here.
Alone, the demand, the volume of tips, the number of investigations, sadly, it continues to grow instead of decrease. If we want a safer future for the Jewish people, this is the moment to stand together and act. We have to push harder to make it clear that Jewish safety is a non-negotiable. Tonight, I'm asking you to always be in the fight with us, not just in spirit, but in true action. Participate in calls to action. Write letters to your governmental officials. Speak to the teachers in the safe. When we act, lives change. And anti-Semites learn, sometimes for the very first time in their lives and history, that targeting Jews will come at a price. And together we can ensure that Jew hatred never goes unanswered.
Now, not all Jews are bad. I get that 100%. Okay, you got the Zionist Jews. Exhibit A. Okay, you need to understand they hide behind good people. Unfortunately, we've gotten used to saying that. I would encourage everybody, look at down here at the bottom of these organizations down here. I would encourage you right now to take a screenshot of those organizations and do your due diligence and research them right now or at whenever. You need to see these organizations down here. Tell me, got a question for you. What do all these organizations have here at the bottom of the screen? Let me get rid of that chat. There we go. Okay. I don't see one damn American flag there at the bottom with all these organizations. Can I get an amen? Hello. Not even a half flag of United States and Israel. Where's my flag? And I ain't talking about the one behind her. That don't count. That's an eerie sign right there. Look at that. On the television screen right there. Symbolism in your face. Well. Breaking news. Republican Senator Joni Ernst announces that she is creating, oh, this is freaking kick-ass right here, is creating a database to expose the names of, ready for this, 383,000 bureaucrats collecting $38.3 billion from the public. Yep, this sounds like a job for the Doge team. Uh-oh. They're saying that Data Republican can probably do this in a matter of a couple of hours. Could that be another reason why they decided to take off early? Or was it where Pornhub got hacked and all the premium users, they found out that a majority of them are some of these sickos that control our fate here in the United States of America? Is that why they took the day off early? Is it because, again, Epstein tomorrow? Is it because the aliens are going to come down from the sky tomorrow? By the way, you will be able to see them supposedly, or the Project Blue Beam in the sky. That's what they're saying. Supposedly NASA launched, here I'll get on a tangent. NASA launched some alien-looking satellites. Why do you think? Project Blue Beam. We will see, again, distractions. Go back and watch the beginning of this show where I show the whole entire 14-minute video of Thomas Massie. He tells the key numbers, what to look for. He said, if I shout it out, if there is not 20 men in this and it's been redacted where they don't name off the names, he'll know. He said, we'll know that they did this. And he named off some very key areas. A lot of people are hedging their bets to see at midnight if this is going to click on and this is going to start happening. So a lot of people, it's going to be a late night because we want to see, in fact, what they're going to do. Because when they do it and we're able to look and it's redacted, then what are you going to say? Well, we already had the list. We already knew that's not good enough. People need to see this shit. People need to know the scum that is controlling our way of life. Folks, it ain't us. It ain't just us, with this. It's now people are starting to wake up. Defender of the Republic. I think this is Michael Flynn Jr.'s, I want to say maybe wife or girlfriend. I'm not 100% sure. So if I'm wrong, I'm thinking it's either or. I believe I see them in a bunch of pictures together. MAGA is going to need to be strong when people realize that Susie, with the help of Bondi, was Brutus all along. We will have, we'll have it to show him he didn't need the special interest in the donors who are not of the people. He will need we, the people, to hold him up, and we will. She tagged Trump, Susie, and Pam Bondi into this. Could it be Satan? Of course. This is a battle versus good versus evil. We've known this the entire time. And I want to leave something for you guys to remember. If you don't remember anything tonight, remember this. Trans women are just retarded fags. Yeah, the end. God bless the Republic of the United States of America. And God bless you, patriots. Without you folks, there is no America or world for that matter. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, be a part of the Patriot Project. Text your first and last name to 877-776-6391 right now. You will be contacted within the next 48 hours. So we'll give you the heads up. Cool. All right, guys. Howdy. You need to get to join.patriotshoot.com right now. I know people are going to be talking about it tonight. Everybody is going to be loading up in the voice chats tonight on Patriot Shoot, waiting right when it turns midnight to see what's going on. They're going to start unloading this. They're going to have to. There's too much. And if they delay, it's because they're redacting. Holla at your boy. Hi there, I'm Chaz Carter. Welcome to Patriot Shoot. If you're looking for a censorship-free platform where you can freely express your thoughts and connect with like-minded individuals, then you're in the right place. At Patriot Shoot, we offer more than just a membership. For just $8.99 per month, we provide you with daily intel, weekly giveaways, and access to our exclusive voice chat platform called Patriot Talk, where we have somewhere between 200 to 400 active members just on that alone, discussing a wide range of topics every single day. You'll gain access to our state groups where you can connect with members in your states at a grassroots level. Our community is all about open dialogue and sharing valuable information without the fear of being silenced. Whether it's discussing current events, giving advice, or personal matters, or simply connecting with others on Patriot Shoot, it is the place to be. So what are you waiting for? Join us today. Experience the freedom of speech and just fill out the form below and get started. We cannot wait to have you here with us, and welcome aboard.